Trump's Epstein problem is not going away anytime soon. There's only so much distraction and deflection you can do before people want to know the truth. Trump is deeply unpopular, and even the MAGA base are sick and tired of the lies and deflection. And Republicans have just released three emails of 23,000 that potentially implicate Trump with Epstein and his crimes, and people want answers. So let's get into the MSNBC report and break it down.
Now, though, pause that conversation to get back to this breaking news we just teased. Just moments ago, the House Oversight Committee released never-before-seen emails from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, which include correspondence between Epstein and his longtime co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, currently incarcerated on sex trafficking charges. Let's now bring in MSNBC Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Dilanian, who has been digging through these emails. Ken, what have we learned so far?
Good morning, Jonathan. Well, look, the Epstein estate has released some 23,000 emails, and House Democrats have been poring over them, and they found some correspondence directly mentioning Donald Trump by name. They've released three of these emails, and they're quite interesting. The first one was between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein back in 2011, where Epstein wrote that Donald Trump spent hours at my house with an unnamed victim of sex trafficking, whose name is redacted in the email.
Which has turned out to be Virginia Guthrie, who unfortunately died by suicide last year.
And Epstein referred to Trump as the dog that hasn't barked. And then in a separate email years later with author Michael Wolff in 2019, Epstein said explicitly that Donald Trump, quote, knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. And then the Democrats cite another email with Wolff in 2015, where Epstein and Wolff are discussing if they can craft an answer for an upcoming Donald Trump interview. And Wolff sort of suggests that Epstein has leverage over Donald Trump, saying if he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you valuable PR and political currency. Now, look, Jeffrey Epstein, it was a manipulative monster, and so you really can't take anything he says to the bank here. But this is important evidence that people.
He was, but so is Trump. I mean, why don't they talk about Trump in that way?
People trying to understand what Donald Trump's relationship was with Jeffrey Epstein and what his role was and where he was and did he go to the House. This is important evidence that fills in some blanks on that picture. The Democrats believe there are more to come from these emails that have been released by the Epstein estate, John.
And we should note our friend Joyce Vance notes on Twitter just now, which she's also pouring through these emails, that one of them dates from 2011 when Epstein would have had really little incentive to lie, and it's well before Trump's political career, of course. So this is, Ken, the story that Donald Trump just wants to go away. And he's done a pretty good job, I guess, of telling MAGA influencers, hey, stop talking about this. He kind of quelled that rebellion that we saw over the summer. There's a real belief that Speaker Johnson sent the House home when he did, in part to not talk about Epstein and not swear in that Arizona Congresswoman-elect who is going to provide the decisive vote. So a couple of things here. I know you're still going through the emails, but this is, and we expect Johnson to do that swearing in later today. There's going to be more to come, right? And we should note Trump has long since challenged the credibility of Michael Wolff on other matters, but we'll see. He's getting these emails from Epstein, too. What else should we expect, not just potentially from these emails?
I know who I trust on this, and it's Wolff over Trump. I mean, he seems like a pretty solid journalist. His Fire and Fury was pretty compelling, and I mean, we're talking about Trump here. There's no reason to believe anything Trump says. He lies constantly. And Trump is deeply unpopular. He's historically unpopular right now on the economy, cost of living. People are already like abandoning him, especially the young vote as well. So the idea that Trump is going to get any more popular is just for the birds. So he's going to have to directly confront this at some point. People are going to continue to lose faith in him on the economy and, foreign policy and a whole slew of issues, tariffs, everything he touches, turns to shit essentially. And this is a man who's deeply unhealthy. He has had recent mini strokes, drinks 12 cans of Diet Coke a day. He is literally rotten from the inside out, and he is symbolically a rotten person. And we have to think about the victims here. There's allegedly numerous victims of this sex ring that Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell ran, and there's a lot of evidence to suggest this goes deeper. And I think we're going to have a Jimmy Savile situation because Trump, he won't make it to the end of this term. He's deeply unhealthy. So it's going to all come out when he's dead. And this is Trump's legacy ultimately. He cannot survive this. It's a question of when does it all come out? And will there be consequences for him when he's alive? Probably not. But I really do really hope that the victims get justice. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe they never will.
But from what new material may still be coming?
Well, look, I mean, there's got to be more information that sheds light on Donald Trump's longtime relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Whether it's incriminating to Donald Trump remains to be seen, but it's got to be there in those emails and elsewhere in the files. And in fact, we know that Trump was told that his name was in the quote unquote Epstein files.
I think Michael Wolff's got a lot of tapes, a lot of evidence, a lot of correspondence with Jeffrey Epstein. He famously said that Trump would never do anything good by accident. You know, he would never do anything good but by accident. Trump is not a good man. He is not fit to be president. And it's any other individual, like any person, would have been held to account by now for his, 34-time felon, numerous sexual assault allegations, sexual misconduct. But it seems like he's untouchable. But figures like this, strong men, always fall. They always do. They always do. Hitler did, Mussolini, numerous people. I mean, the guy from Libya, I can't remember his name now. Comment below. They always fall. And Trump can't escape that. And it seems inevitable, like, oh, he'll get away with it. They always do the wealthy, don't they? They always get away with it. I mean, Epstein kind of got away with it. And Prince Andrew kind of got away with it. Jimmy Savile got away with it. But I just hope Trump is exposed for who he really is.
Unreleased information from the Justice Department. Again, we've always been told that there's
Gaddafi, that's it, Colonel Gaddafi.
nothing in that material that incriminates others to the point where they should have been charged. That's what investigators have always said, long before this became an issue of controversy. But you're absolutely right. As a political matter, it's just so interesting because the MAGA world has long believed that there's a conspiracy to cover up what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, now the people who have control of the material is the Trump administration.
Which is ironic because most of the conspiracy around MAGA, vaccines, Pizzagate, QAnon, is bullshit. But this is real. This is not a conspiracy. This is happening. This has happened. There's people, there's victims that, have things to say.
And so, but yet the MAGA folks have not turned their fire on Donald Trump personally. They've been very mad at Pam Bondi and Cash.
I don't know if that's true. I think a lot of the MAGA base are getting sick of it and already turning on him. He's deeply unpopular for many reasons. But I don't think that's true. I think Trump, this time next year, when the midterms come, is going to have a rude awakening.
Patel, the FBI director, for what they consider, inaction and not releasing these files. And so far, the Justice Department's position is we're not releasing anything more. But this, as you said, this is a live political issue. The interesting question is going to be, do these emails or does other information cause anyone in the MAGA movement to start turning their attention to Donald Trump and asking him what he's hiding and whether more information should be released, Jonathan?
MSNBC Justice and Intelligence reporter
I think that's going to happen. That's the incoherence and infighting that you see in fascism. Already, you see these grifters, J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller. They're all kind of social media people who just want a career. They just want a career. They want to grift the grift, and they don't care about making American people's lives better. They're all in it for themselves. And Trump is becoming more unpopular. So you're going to see people shift and go, okay, well, Trump's going to be dead soon. I want to get, I want to be the head honcho. I want to be the new MAGA. JD Vance, obviously, he hasn't got it. He is just awful. So who's it going to be? And we're going to see this because they always turn their backs on themselves, don't they? We saw this with the right, stop the boats, and with Boris Johnson. We're kind of seeing it a little bit with Farage. It's inevitable that Farage is going to become like the new Johnson. The same with Trump. They always turn on them on each other and destroy each other essentially. And I'm here for it because Trump needs to be held accountable. Very few people like him are. We had Harvey Weinstein held accountable, which was surprising. But I do fear he's going to be dead before anything truly comes out that is a smoking gun. So tell me your thoughts below. What is going to happen? Is Trump ever going to be held accountable? Will the truth actually come out when he's alive? Or maybe it never will. Tell me your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next video.